Welcome back to Spencer's Triathlon Coaching channel. Here today we're talking about where to start or how to approach your first triathlon if this is something that you're looking at doing. It can be fun, invigorating, challenging and all the above. And what we're going to do is go through a list of checklist kind of questions to see whether you're ready to take part in one, and finishing with a smile on your face essentially, because what we don't want is that you spend a bit of money on the event itself, you tell your mates, your friends and family that you're going to be doing this triathlon, and it turns out to be one of the worst things ever you've ever encountered because you prepared a little bit poorly for this whole thing. So first thing we're going to have a look at is, can you actually do a triathlon? And the answer to that question should 100% be yes. Why can't you do a triathlon? Unless you're physically unable to do one, then there's no reason why you can't do one. When it starts with the swimming, can you do breaststroke? Can you do front crawl? If the answer to one of those two questions is yes, you definitely can do the pool part of a sprint triathlon. And we'll get into a few hints and tips when it comes to the swimming in order to get better at swimming and more comfortable and more confident within the water as well. Cycling wise, you need a bike, obviously. Whether it's you buy a second-hand one, you buy a brand new one, you borrow a friend's bike. The only tip I'd give you with that is make sure the bike frame size fits you. It goes in accordance to your height. I'm 5'7.5", don't forget that half. And there's certain bike frame sizes for me, as opposed to someone that's 6'3". There's a certain bike frame size for them. He won't be good on mine, I certainly won't be good on his. So it's very unique in terms of that. And of course, when it comes to the running, you need a pair of trainers, obviously. But more about that later. Time-wise, how much time during the week do you think you need in order to compete in a triathlon successfully? Now, this all depends on what type of triathlon you're going to get involved in, whether it's a sprint, an Olympic distance, half distance, full distance, or if you're an absolute crazy bastard, it'll be an ultra triathlon, which is bigger than an Ironman, which is a full distance triathlon, by the way. It all depends on that. But today, let's go with the notion of a sprint triathlon and or a standard distance triathlon. Now, a sprint triathlon is typically in a pool, 400 meters. If it's in the open water, it would be 750 meters. But for your first triathlon, go for a pool-based one. It's nice and cozy, it's nice and safe. You can see exactly where you're going, which is in a straight line. They lane you up so you can't go anywhere. It's great. 25 meters that way and back. You can't go wrong. Or anything between, I'm going to pluck some numbers out here. If you're going to do up to 5 hours training a week, you're going to finish the sprint triathlon very well if you do the right things on the right days at the right times on a consistent basis. 5 hours and I'll go down to like 2 hours. So basically 2 to 5 hours, and you're going to finish relatively well, again, if you're doing the right things at the right time. Because time spent training within the swim, bike and run, as a rule of thumb, they'd pluck out numbers of spend 15% of your training swimming, 50% of your time bike riding, cycling, and then 25 to 30% of your time running. However, you might be an absolute shark and demon in the water, and you might not want to spend as much time in that discipline because you're already good at it. If that's the case, I'd spend more time on the other two elements, cycling and running, where it needs a bit more work. But if you're starting from fresh from everything, I'd probably go along the lines of the 15%, 50% and 25 to 30% with those three disciplines, swim, bike and run. The next thing you need to think about is, what distance are you going to do? Is it a sprint or is it a standard distance? Now, we've gone through the sprint distances. The Olympic distance or standard distance, same thing. I don't know why we've got all these different names for the same distance. So standard distance is 1.5 kilometer swim, so just short of a mile. And then it's typically 40 kilometers bike riding, or 25 mile. And then it's a 10 kilometer run at the end of it, or 6.2 mile. So near enough double of a sprint, but a bit more swimming involved. So choose one of those and choose the event. Have a look at what the terrain is. Is it super hilly? Is it a flat course? Is it closed roads, open roads? Is it in a nice part of the area? Is it city centre based? Have a look. What takes your fancy? Okay, because that's going to make you want to train for it, hopefully a little bit more. Now, if you're really struggling and don't know where to start with your triathlon endeavours, I do offer, somewhere I'll link around this video shot, a 30-day free kickstart course where I set you up specifically for a certain race. Again, free, you're not obligated, it doesn't cost anything, you've got nothing to lose. More about that at the end of the video, but this is a lot better than an 8-week plan or 12-week plan that you might find online. Okay, this is going to be specific to you and it will work. Anyway, back to the swimming element. If you're good at swimming, fine. If you've been brought up as a kid, you've been to lots of lessons as a child, and you bang, 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 you can knock out these lengths for fun, you're going to be okay. You just need to get those arms and legs and the torso rotating a bit more and get back into it. Now, if you're completely new to swimming, you might want to consider one-to-one lessons on a short-term basis to get you up to speed with doing front crawl. Now, once you're able to do front crawl for a length, and I'm not exaggerating here, if you can swim front crawl for a length, a local triathlon club will want to know and get you in their pool, more than likely sign you up as a member as well, but they can train you, they can coach you, they can take you further. So that's an option. If front crawl is something that is no interest of you and you can do breaststroke, a pool-based triathlon is for you, or even open water. You can do both. It's going to take you longer to perform the swim, and if you're comfortable with that and you're happy with that, then that's fine. When I first started 12 years ago, if I wasn't quite swim fit at the time of a triathlon race, I would knock out both breaststroke and front crawl. Now that's not the case. With experience, I can go on all day with the swimming element now. But yeah, breaststroke is an option for you. But yeah, either go for one-to-one lessons if you're completely newbie to this, and that will get you up to scratch with the front crawl, and then you can take it to a triathlon club where they will really develop you. They will put you in lanes, and those lanes represent the ability of the swimmer. In our club, it's lane 1. They really focus on you, getting you up to speed with swimming. Cycling, yes, as we've discussed before, you need a bike that fits you. It can be second-hand, it can be one borrowed. It doesn't even have to be a road bike, one of those really fast ones, the fastest ones we can get, or a time trial bike, which do cost. You can get a gravel bike, you can do your first one on a mountain bike, anything will do. But if you can borrow one, that'd be fantastic. It won't cost you a thing, but make sure it's the right frame size for you. A quick Google search will help with your height and bike frame size, and then you can go ahead with that. Yes, you need a helmet and preferably cycling shoes with the cleats on, and get used to that and get practicing with those. If you're not interested in the cycling shoes, think, oh, I'm just going to do it with my trainers with flat pedals, that's also an option to you. And running, obviously you need trainers, but not just your trainers that you go to the supermarket in. I'm talking about running trainers. I'm not even talking about the carbon plated ones that you can see that are packed up to the rafters with foam and obviously carbon. You can get 30, 40, 50 quid trainers that will last you a good few years, depending on how much you run. Those will be absolutely fine as well. So yeah, with the swimming, you're going to need goggles, you're going to need a cap. Not essential, but it's good to train if you want to keep your hair dry, like me, obviously. And get a tri-suit. Okay, so you do this tri-suit, you swim in it, you bike ride in it, and you run in it. This is race day. You don't need to train in it whatsoever. Train in your regular stuff that we've mentioned before, but a tri-suit, again, doesn't cost you the earth. Have a shop around. You're going to read all sorts about aerodynamic gains with this, that, and that technology. Just get one that fits you for your first one. It doesn't matter at this stage. Cycling wise, yes, you need a bike, helmet, cycling shoes, and obviously the run, you need your trainers, and that's your kit list. On the day, yes, have some stuff or bag that you can carry in. You can buy a triathlon bag. They do cost a little bit more, but they're specifically designed to put all your kit in certain areas of the bag. It's dead easy. Take a towel, take some money for parking, all that kind of jazz on the day. Do you need a triathlon coach to perform and take part in your first triathlon? No, you do not. You can simply take all the advice from this video and off you pop. Would it help you and accelerate in terms of getting better? Yes, absolutely. You've got the knowledge and you've got the experience of a triathlon coach. Looking back 12 years, do I wish I had a triathlon coach? It's a yes or no answer for me. One, I enjoyed learning and doing it myself, been a sports scientist, and now obviously a tri coach. I'm a lot more savvy with what I'm doing, a strength conditioner as well. But it would have helped me having a coach in regards to the accountability side of things. So when you sit down with a coach, you will go through the lifestyles, a lot of other things as well, and you'll figure out You told me you can swim on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Saturday or Sunday. Garth, are you doing those things? No, why not? And you get challenged, okay, and you get held accountable, which is really good. Not that I was a appalling trainer, but it would have certainly helped me in the early days. Fueling wise, what do you need for a sprint triathlon or a standard distance triathlon? Now, if you're going to go over 90 minutes in any kind of endurance activity and you're breathing relatively hard, over 90 minutes you're going to need some kind of fueling, be it a carbohydrate based drink, whether it's gels, yada yada yada. You're going to need something to keep you going, because after that 90 minutes your performance will plummet. Now if you're going to do a sprint triathlon and it's under 90 minutes, water will be absolutely fine, considering and assuming the day before you've eaten an adequate amount of carbohydrate. That will see you through. And obviously a carbohydrate based breakfast as well. If you've got time to digest it, you might just want to top up on carbohydrates if it's an early start. But yes, you're going to look at a carbohydrate based drink, and there's lots on the market. Some are more expensive than others. They've all been robustly tested. Most of them will have the electrolytes in them, so the magnesium, the potassium, and more so the sodium to keep you going. I would avoid protein and fat based snacks for when you're racing. Why? Because you're probably not going to digest it, because those bad boys are very hard to digest and you're not going to use it. Therefore use carbohydrate. And you want it to be transportable, as in, can you get it on yourself, on your persons during the bike ride and on the run? You're not going to be carrying a bunch of bananas with you, and let's face it. So it might be some gels that agree with you and you want to practice with those, or a drink as well. And look at the race, they might provide some aid stations, some fueling stations, and check what brands they are and see if they suit you. But yes, anything over 90 minutes, you're going to need some carbohydrate based fueling. And like I said before guys, if you're looking at starting this for the first time, I've got that 30-day free trial where I'll set you up, I'll get you on Training Peaks, we'll talk about your nutrition, we'll get you set up with strength and conditioning, whether it's gym based or home based. That is not essential, but it does help. We'll talk about your lifestyle, the barriers you've got, everything. We'll go through everything and I'll set you up. I'll go bang, there you go, here's 2 weeks, see how that fits you, and if that's well, I'll set you another 2 weeks and then we can go from there. So it's a 30-day free trial within a Kickstart course to start your triathlon. You've got nothing to lose. So thanks ladies and gentlemen for listening again. Tune in to other videos that I've done that might be of help to you. Speak soon.